Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it. WHIO Radio is the home of the biggest sports brands in the Miami Valley. And we have the ability to put your company's message right in the middle of it.
We've been caring and fighting for clients since 1950.
The home of the Cleveland Browns.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at?
University of Dayton basketball.
I'm the voice of the Flyers, Larry Hanskin.
High school football. And the best Bengals coverage. Put your business front and center in the most valuable space in media. Sports rules. To get your message in these legendary sports brands, advertise on Dayton's legendary radio station. To advertise, call Kristen at 937-259-2344. That's 937-259-2344. This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
You get a notice from your local taxing authority that your value of your home is going way up by their estimation. And so then in turn, your property taxes in most jurisdictions follow right along, flow with much higher taxes. What does that mean you do? Sit on your hands? No way. Because just because the appraiser says your home has gone up so much, if it's not accurate, you need to appeal. Most people don't appeal. And if you do, you're just letting the government tell you what your home's worth. As I've experienced in the past, often it'll be valued well above what I could actually get for my home. So if you get an assessment of your home that doesn't seem accurate, take the time to appeal. It's your money.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO. What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our number one priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
It was the perfect backyard barbecue until the AC quit and the guests stormed the fridge like it was a buffet.
I'm cooking on the inside too, Janet.
Even the deviled eggs are sweating, Harold.
Enter Airtron Man.
Ma'am, step away from the potato salad. I've got this.
With next day install or $750 off and 24/7 emergency service, Airtron saves summer one sizzling house at a time. Call Airtron and keep your cool, Cincinnati, 283-209-9327 or call airtron.com.
Breaking news all morning. The Storm Center 7 forecast to start your day and triple team traffic. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Good morning. I'm Larry Hanskin. Sun is up. Be a little bit cloudy today, but for the most part, rain-free. Looking at temperatures, low 80s for a high. Right now, 61 degrees at 6:55. A survey by Prepley reveals that 1 in 2 people feel their college major didn't prepare them for their current job. 1 in 6 people who went to college say they regret it. 29% of the people surveyed wish they'd chosen a different major. And only 5% of college graduates feel adequately prepared for life and the workplace. Now, with college in his rearview mirror, but only recently so, Will Taylor, would you fall under any of these statistics?
No, I don't think I would. Because I did switch my major in school, and so that's something I look back and go, gosh, that was a really good idea that I did that. Yeah, so I don't regret. Maybe if I was smarter, I'd be a nurse and make some more money, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you started off as a theater major, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you got into this crazy business. Now, Jeremy, when you went to school in Minneapolis, was this your vision you had right now?
Yes and no. I mean, I was a broadcast major, did graduate with that. But I interned at a television station and a radio station. And, the first best option for me was radio, and I'm stuck with that.
Was this what you thought you'd be doing, Brittany?
I really wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. I mean, I went to school for mass communications and broadcasting. So, yeah, I mean, this is what I wanted to do. But when I was little, I had different plans, probably, yeah.
Specifically, though, that was not necessarily, you just had kind of that field in general. Yeah. Same here. And I did study this at Bowling Green, but most of my coursework was in German. And if I had to do all over again, I'd do it all over again.
Oh,
because
well,
I think, and I try to tell people that, major in something that you want to learn.
Yeah.
Don't go to college as don't use it as a how-to manual for a career. Go to learn.
Yeah.
And the thing is, most jobs, unless you have to have some type of certification or something like that, you don't necessarily need to major in a field in order to be able to succeed in it.
Right. And, like I'm at a crossroads now because I have an 18-year-old who's making plans for the future and trying to decide what to do. And, he doesn't have a clear path. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to be like, all right, well, let's get you enrolled in college when I don't know that he even necessarily needs to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because he's talked about I don't know, at one point in time, he said he wanted to be a farmer.
Yeah, he did. And, we've been talking about other things like, more outdoorsy type careers for him. Maybe going into like being a surveyor or something. So I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, our top story today, the bizarre find last night, a dead body in a cooler. It's 6:58.
This is the legendary WHIO, the king of sports in Ohio. We've got the biggest sports teams and leagues on both radio and TV. This year, we're proud to be the home of NFL with Cincinnati Bengals football on Channel 7. The Southwest Ohio home of the Cleveland Browns on WHIO Radio. The biggest Big Ten games during the season every Saturday, including Ohio State football. The CBS NFL Game of the Week. The home of University of Dayton basketball and football. The Touchdown 7 high school football games of the week. The Dayton home of March Madness, the Masters, and PGA Championship. When it comes to the absolute biggest sports brands, WHIO Radio and Television is the king of Dayton sports. WHIO, Dayton's news, talk, and sports station. This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
I despise pay in four. That's where everywhere you go to shop now, online or in person, they're asking you, do you want to pay for whatever it is you're buying? Buy now, pay later in 4 easy payments. The problem is, a lot of people say yes, get something they might not have otherwise, and then they can't make the 4 easy payments. Well, this is a disaster for your wallet, but now also more and more a disaster for your credit, because now these pay in fours are showing up on your credit report as a big fat negative. The only people who should even consider it are people who have no credit at all, and you're trying to establish a credit record. But if you use pay in four that way, you better make every payment on time.
Clark is WHIO's consumer warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO. This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock. I'm Larry Hansgen. Welcome to Miami Valley's morning news. We are live on Monday, August 4th. We have 61 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Going to be a cloudy day at times, a chance of a shower southwest of Dayton, more close to the Indiana border. Most of us will be dry today and high in the low 80s. Actress Lonnie Anderson of WKRP and Cincinnati fame has died. She was 79. And our top local story, a shocking discovery in Montgomery County.
Sheriff's deputies are investigating this morning after a body was found in a cooler at a park.
That's News Center 7's Letitia Perry. This happened at about 7:30 last night.
Yeah, deputies say a body was found inside of a cooler in the area of Manning and Anthony Roads near Twin Creek.
The Jackson Township Police Department asked that the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office lead this investigation. Jackson Township Police also told News Center 7 that they do not have any missing persons reports either.
Now, we're told that the coroner will do an autopsy on the body to determine how this person died.
And, of course, we're going to be following this investigation, and we'll bring in new details as soon as we learn them on your station for breaking news, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Temperatures are still below average today. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Ryan Mirando. When we get a reality check in the Storm Center 7 forecast coming up.
Off to a great start around the Miami Valley as freeways are moving well. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Parker Testa, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hanskin. This is Miami Valley's Morning News.
I'm Brittany Otto.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
Well, we're learning details on a deadly shooting in Dayton that happened Thursday night.
The Montgomery County Coroner's Office identifies the victim as 32-year-old Larry Harris. He was found shot in an apartment complex on East 4th Street. Harris later died at the hospital. A 911 caller says they heard 6 or 8 shots fired.
WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. No word yet on any arrests.
A home on Larchview Drive in Huber Heights went up in flames Saturday. Vaughn Gibson smelled the smoke while outside doing yard work.
I wouldn't say it was scary. My natural reaction was to get down there and help and see what I can do to get people out of the house.
No one was out of the no one was hurt, I should say, but the family who lived there will apparently have to find a new place to live.
Well, we've learned 2 people were flown to the hospital, 3 others hurt after a multi-car crash in Greenville Friday.
A car was traveling eastbound on East Main Street when it ran a red light and hit 2 other cars that were going through the intersection. Police believe speed, alcohol, and drugs may have contributed to the crash.
That's WHIO's David Hartwig.
A part-time firefighter with the Moraine Fire Department has died.
Moraine Professional Firefighters Local 2981 posted on Facebook, Ryan Baver has passed away. He was just 34 years old and is survived by his 8-month-old son and wife, Gabby. He worked for Moraine from 2013 to 2018.
That is WHIO's Jason Michaels. His viewing will be Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m. at Anderson Funeral Home in Franklin. His funeral set for Thursday at 11 a.m.
Well, something you need to know this morning. An endangered missing adult alert's been issued statewide for a missing Cincinnati woman by the Cincinnati Emergency Communications Center.
Police are looking for 66-year-old Janet Teresa Benton, who left her home on foot and has not returned. Benton was last seen Sunday at 10 a.m. on Seton Avenue in Cincinnati. She's a black woman with black hair, brown eyes. She suffers from dementia. Law enforcement is concerned for her safety. We have a photo and full description at WHIO.com.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones.
A Montgomery County teacher has been named a finalist for the 2026 Ohio Teacher of the Year competition.
Rhonda Nisbet, a mathematics teacher at Dixie Middle School in New Lebanon, has been named one of the 4 finalists for the honor. The winner will be announced at the beginning of the school year.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor.
President Trump recently fired the commissioner of the Labor Statistics Department after the release of the less than expected July jobs report, saying that the data was rigged to make him and Republicans look bad. Speaking to reporters yesterday, the president says he has a replacement lined up.
We'll be announcing a new statistician sometime over the next 3-4 days.
The president did not give any evidence for how the data is rigged.
Happy birthday to you.
A popular actress from a 1980s sitcom that you know well has died.
Cincinnati, WKRP.
Lonnie Anderson, the blonde bombshell star of WKRP in Cincinnati, died Sunday in Los Angeles. Anderson played the sexy, smart receptionist at the struggling station.
That is Fox's Jane Fergus reporting. She died just a few days before turning 80. WHIO News Time, 7:05.
I'm Larry Hanskin. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. I spent some time this summer talking with your consumer warrior, Clark Howard, on a variety of subjects, including the future working remotely. He says being away from each other 100% of the time destroys company culture.
So that's why the hybrid kind of thing is a much better idea. And I think that's where we'll eventually settle down. This is a pendulum that swung so hard one way, and now in a reaction is swinging too far the other way. And I think we'll end up as a practical thing with some mix.
And more online anytime at Clark.com. Still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, well, the U.S. Armed Services celebrating a birthday. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:06.
A lot of weird stuff happens around here overnight. That's why we feature Dayton's only all-news morning show. Catch up and know what's going on every morning. Miami Valley's morning news is on WHIO. WHIO, Dayton's news and talk. Depend on it.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. August 5th was a big day in history. In 1914, the first electric traffic light in America is installed at West 105th Street and Euclid in Cleveland. In 1930, the first man on the moon, astronaut Neil Armstrong, is born in Wapakoneta. In 1945, the Enola Gay drops an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan.
The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold.
And in 1991, the man who literally started the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, Coach Paul Brown, dies. And August 9th, 1974, Richard Nixon becomes the first U.S. president to resign.
But as president, I must put the interests of America first. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. I'm Ron Otto with my Sports Rundown, my opinion on the big stories in sports. Everybody is practically giddy that NFL training camps are underway. To me, it's the most boring part of the league's calendar. Nobody's getting traded, few players are even getting cut. Some teams have joint practices, but you won't see any of that until after the fact. We'll have the same questions about the same players and teams that we had months ago, with little to no answers. Days of mindless drills under the hot summer sun, leading to games that don't count, filled with players that most of us won't see play in any meaningful games this fall. OTAs are more interesting. I guess it's the mere suggestion that football is on its way that gets people excited, even relieved. You can get excited if you want, but wake me when the season starts. Wake me when the college football season starts, or better yet, the high school season begins. I'm Ron Otto, and that's my Sports Rundown.
Bye. The area's only all-news and talk radio station. That means we're talking about what you're talking about. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Good morning. I'm Larry Hansgen. Bright enough sun this morning that I need to get the shades pulled down here in our studios on South Main Street. And it will be a pretty pleasant day. Some clouds, but temperatures in the low 80s and very, very, very slight chance of rain. 62 degrees now at 7:09.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Radloff.
I'm Brittany Otto. Updating story that we're following in Beaver Creek. A settlement reached in the death of a man shot by police at a local Walmart nearly 11 years ago.
Michael Wright of the Cochran Group confirms the settlement involving the family of John Crawford III, with the family voluntarily dismissing the case according to federal court documents. On August 5th, 2014, someone inside the Walmart called 911 when they saw Crawford carrying a pellet gun he pulled from a shelf, and police shot him as they approached him.
WHIO's Ron Otto reporting.
Now, local community college has received a grant to benefit food pantries.
The Edison Foundation received a $2,000 grant from the Kroger Zero Hunger and Zero Waste Foundation on behalf of Edison State Community College. The funds will go towards supporting the Charger Station food pantries, which are available at all Edison State locations.
That is WHIO's Parker Testa reporting.
A huge crowd on hand Sunday as Pope Leo XIV delivered a message of hope to a new generation.
Pope Leo telling more than 1 million young Catholics gathered in a field on the outskirts of Rome that they have an opportunity to set a new tone on earth.
My young brothers and sisters, you are the sign that a different world is possible. A world of fraternity and friendship, where conflicts are not resolved with weapons, but with dialogue.
That's Fox's Paul Stevens.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
Meanwhile, east of the Buckeye State, we have learned that an unusual traffic accident in Pennsylvania this past week spilled thousands of hot dogs on the highway.
On Interstate 83 in Shrewsbury in southeast Pennsylvania near the Maryland border, a truck collided with another, then scraped along the concrete divider, ripping open the trailer, spilling thousands of frozen frankfurters on the freeway. That caused a 4-mile backup, putting many people in hot water with with their boss.
They didn't really believe it when I told them I'm stopped because of some hot dogs on the interstate.
That wasn't the worst of it. 4 people had to be taken to the hospital for injuries.
Yikes, a lot happening in that story. Fox's Jack Callahan reporting. WHIO News Time, 7:11.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News, our 5-day forecast sponsored by Greene County Public Library. Here's Storm Center 7 meteorologist Ryan Mirando.
A mix of clouds and sun on this Monday. Some peaks of sunshine here and there. Temperatures still below average today in the low 80s, and there's a small chance of some of us seeing an isolated shower through this afternoon and evening, but most areas staying dry today. A better chance for some scattered storms tomorrow. In fact, Tuesday will be the best chance of rain this week, only about a 40% shot, so some areas still staying dry. 83 is the high tomorrow. 84 on Wednesday with a few more isolated pop-up storms in the afternoon and evening. We're drying things out Thursday and Friday as temperatures hold where they should be in the mid-80s, but more humid out there.
Live Doppler 7 radars clear, 58 in Springfield, 62 in West Carrollton, and 62 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
An update with Parker Testa.
Hey there, Larry. Yeah, no problems on the freeways around the Miami Valley this hour. The only delay we have is on US 35 at the I-675 interchange. There's some construction going on there that has that part of the freeway down to 1 lane, and we are seeing a slight delay back to North Fairfield Road there in Beaver Creek. Rest of the highway system moving well across the Miami Valley with traffic every 10 minutes. I'm Parker Testa, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Now, the Reds played the Braves down in Bristol, Tennessee over the weekend. It was the inaugural Speedway Classic. They started the game Saturday, but rain stopped it after 1 inning, so they resumed play yesterday. Atlanta won the game 4-2. And still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, China digging in its heels in trade talks. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time is 7:13.
Here at WHIO, we listened to what you want in a news and talk station. What you said is that it's important to report the news right down the middle and then let you decide what you think about it. It's not our job to convince you to think a certain way. It's our job to report the news, give you both sides, and be fair and honest. That's a promise we've made since 1935. We're honored you've chosen us as Dayton's news and talk station. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Depend on it.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
You want to buy stuff made in the USA? How do you know it really is? How do you know when people say, hey, buy American, that you're actually buying American? Well, we've been working on that at ClarkDeals.com, and we keep expanding our list, verifying as best we can that goods that are being sold saying made in the USA really are. Special emphasis, of course, because it is Clark Deals, trying to show you items that are made here in the U.S. that are also a real deal for your wallet. Now, a lot of times something will say made in USA, but it's only assembled here. All the components are from overseas. And we're trying as hard as we can to make sure we show you items that are truly, fully made in the United States.
Clark is WHIO's consumer warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Dayton's only all-local news radio station. The power of WHIO Radio and News Center 7 means you'll know first. This is Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Good morning at 7:16. I'm Larry Hansgen, 62 degrees in Dayton. Big three things you need to know. Got some clouds today and a chance of a shower southwest of Dayton. Other than that, most of us stay dry with a high in the low 80s. Dayton Children sets a record for donations in its Do More So All Kids Thrive campaign. And our top story, a body found in a cooler in Montgomery County last night.
Yeah, this happened around 7:30 last night. Deputies say the body was found in the area of Manning and Anthony Roads near Twin Creek. News Center 7's Xavier Hershevitz reports.
The Jackson Township Police Department asked that the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office lead this investigation. Jackson Township Police also told News Center 7 that they do not have any missing persons reports either.
Yeah, the coroner will do an autopsy on the body to determine how this person died. As we learn new details, we're going to bring them to you.
Centerpoint Energy Air Show's directors excited about next year's show, which will be headed by the U.S. Navy Blue Angels.
The show attracted thousands this year despite high heat and humidity. Next year's event will feature a reenactment of Pearl Harbor.
Next year's air show set for June 13th and 14th at Dayton International Airport.
China taking a firm stance against U.S. demands that it stop buying oil from Russia and Iran or face a possible 100% tariff.
This comes as both countries signal goodwill in negotiating a trade deal after 2 days of talks in Sweden. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent acknowledges China's position on oil purchases, but suggests an overall trade deal remains likely. China has shown confidence in playing hardball when dealing with the Trump administration, especially when trade is linked to its energy and foreign policies.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor.
Meanwhile, President Trump boasting of record revenues after imposing tariffs on many of America's trade partners, claiming over $150 billion has been collected so far. He says some of that money can find its way back to the people's pockets and put down a payment of a national debt.
There could be a distribution or a dividend to the people of our country. I would say for people that would be middle-income people and lower-income people, we could do a dividend, but one of the things we're going to be doing is reducing debt.
And Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said last week that tariffs were already making goods more expensive. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett says the U.S. could collect up to $3 trillion from tariffs.
In market news, shares in Asia have mostly advanced after Wall Street had its worst day since May following the release of weak U.S. jobs data. Markets in Asia had already reacted on Friday to President Trump's announcement of sweeping tariffs on imports from many U.S. trading partners. Those are set to take effect on Thursday.
So did you see it yet? I got a chance to see it myself over the weekend. The Fantastic Four First Step still flying high in its second weekend.
Marvel's first family holds on to the top spot at the box office.
Famous around the world, please welcome the Fantastic Four.
That is Fox's Daria Albinger.
Well, 2 new statues honoring Superman were unveiled in Cleveland over the weekend.
The statues were revealed in the newly named Superman Plaza at Huntington Bank Convention Center. One statue shows Superman flying, while the other honors those pivotal in the creation of that character.
That's WHIO's Ian James. WHIO News Time 719.
I'm Larry Hansgen, and this is Miami Valley's Morning News. Look at our forecast now for the brand new work week. And Storm Center 7 meteorologist Ryan Mirando.
A mix of clouds and sun on this Monday. Some peaks of sunshine here and there. Temperatures still below average today in the low 80s. And there's a small chance of some of us seeing an isolated shower through this afternoon and evening, but most areas staying dry today. A better chance for some scattered storms tomorrow. In fact, Tuesday will be the best chance of rain this week. Only about a 40% shot, so some areas still staying dry. 83 is the high tomorrow. 84 on Wednesday with a few more isolated pop-up storms in the afternoon and evening. We're drying things out Thursday and Friday as temperatures hold where they should be in the mid-80s, but more humid out there.
Our live Doppler 7 radar's clear. 58 in Springfield, 58 in Sydney, and 62 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Is your car's AC acting up? Keep cool this summer by visiting your trusted automotive air conditioning repair experts. Breathe a little easier by making an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
An update with Parker Testa.
Larry, we couldn't have asked for a better start on the roadways to kick off the new work week. Still no accidents to tell you about across the Miami Valley roadways. Just one delay we are dealing with on westbound US 35. This is at I-675. Construction there has that part of the highway down to one lane, and we are seeing a delay backed up to North Fairfield Road. You can use Dayton-Xenia Road as an alternate route to get around that delay. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Parker Testa, WHIO, Triple Team Traffic.
Still to come, could money from increased tariffs wind up in your pocket? That would be our in-depth impact story, and that's coming up in 3 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:21.
WHIO has just won several Associated Press and Edward R. Murrow News Awards, including Best Radio Newscast. We don't do it for awards. We do it for you. Thanks. From WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Hey, what was the name of that learning app again?
IXL. It gives each kid the exact support they need.
Are we talking about IXL? My kids love it, and research shows it even boosts test scores.
IXL, the learning program 16 million students trust. Try it today at IXL.com.
The way you see the world depends on how you look at it. Where some search for ways to achieve their goals, others see windows of opportunity or entire worlds of opportunity as far as the eye can see. So while some see barriers, we see breakthroughs. And Unisys Cloud, AI, logistics, and digital workplace solutions help you realize one breakthrough after another. Unisys. Keep breaking through.
Isn't it time to bring some magic into the real world? Where knights ride in shining armor, and pirates always have a bag of loot. Where everyone is welcome for a toast. Where wonder and fantasy awaits you round every corner. Discover it all at the Ohio Renaissance Festival. Visit renfestival.com for info and tickets.
You are a very important person. You show up, put in the work, and bring your best to each and every day. It isn't always glamorous or easy, but it's worth it. Because you're building a life for yourself and those you love. That means a lot, and so do you. When you open an account at Park National Bank, you get more than you might expect. Your own personal banker and the VIP treatment you deserve. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC.
This summer, Eco ATM is helping you do more of what you love. With over 6,500 kiosks nationwide, it's quick and easy to recycle your used phones for cash on the spot. We'll offer you a price based on your phone's model and condition, and you'll get paid within minutes. No contracts, no waiting, no hassle. Just extra cash. This is your summer. Fund it your way with Eco ATM. Find your local kiosk at ecoatm.com or by downloading our app today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Good morning, Dayton. You're waking up with the information you need to start the day. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. Pro wrestler Nikki Bella tells TMZ that her breast implant got stuck in her ribs after taking a Piper's elbow drop during a match. Nikki plans to delay fixing it until after her wrestling career ends. 62 degrees now. It's 7:24.
24 minutes after 7 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
I'm Brittany Otto. An 18-year-old flown to the hospital after he was ejected from a car during a crash in Darke County early Saturday morning.
Nathan Weidmeyer of Greenville failed to maintain control of a red Honda Fit and drove off the side of Hollinsburg-Richmond Road. The car rolled several times before Weidmeyer was ejected, and he was flown to Miami Valley Hospital by Care Flight.
That's WHIO's David Hartwig.
Here is the WHIO Impact Story, which means we go in-depth on a major story every hour.
Some Republican lawmakers are pushing for tariff rebate checks, an idea President Trump says he's considering.
Yeah, Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
President Trump says he's looking at a proposal to use new revenue from tariffs collected for rebate checks to American taxpayers. It's an idea floated by Republican Senator Josh Hawley, though other GOP lawmakers prefer reducing the national debt.
I think we'll be able to put that money to good use for the American people, whether it be, using it to rebuild our country or to pay off our debts that, Democrats and other politicians have racked up here.
Deputy White House Press Secretary Kush Desai also downplays concerns higher tariffs will spike prices, suggesting many foreign companies will eat the cost to stay competitive for U.S. buyers.
Yeah, stay with us for potential updates on what happens next and how it may affect you and your family here on your hometown station, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
Wendy's launching its new Wednesday Addams-inspired menu today.
Wendy's new Meals of Misfortune dropped just in time for the premiere of Wednesday's second season on Netflix. They include limited edition items like the Rest in 10-piece nuggets, fries called Kirsten Crispy, the Raven's Blood Frosty with a dark cherry swirl, and the Dips of Dread. You get 2 dipping sauces with each meal chosen at random.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. WHIO News Time 726.
I'm Larry Hanskin. This is Miami Valley's Morning News, and we have the weather, traffic, and news you need to start each day. And here we are on a Monday, already thinking about the weekend. So let's do just that and find out what's happening. Sponsored by Specialty Motorworks.
The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
The Miami County Fair kicks off on Friday at the Miami County Fairgrounds. Rides, games, food, livestock, country concert, and more. The fair is going to run through August 14th. Voices of America Country Music Fest, that's going to be happening down in Westchester this weekend. You can check out Carrie Underwood, Hardy, Darius Rucker, among others. Festival's going to run through Sunday. The St. Bridget Parish Festival, that's going on this weekend out in Xenia. Rides, games, food, live music, and beer. Friday 6 to 11, Saturday 5:30 to 11, and Sunday 1 to 5. And the Inglewood Art Festival, that's going to be going on this weekend over at Centennial Park. There's lots of art vendors, food, 5K race, parade, live entertainment, and a car show. 11 to 5, both Saturday and Sunday. Getting you out into the Miami Valley, I'm Chris Hartley, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our #1 priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
The Thompsons weren't expecting company, especially his parents, and definitely not during a heat wave.
No air conditioning? That explains the potato salad.
Harold. I'll open the windows. Airtron man arrives. Heroic. Shirt slightly unbuttoned. Thermostat in hand.
I cool homes, but I can't solve in-law problems.
Call Airtron and keep your cool, Cincinnati. 283-209-9327. Or call airtron.com.
At Idea Public Schools in Cincinnati, your child's future is our promise. From kindergarten through 10th grade, they'll learn in a safe, nurturing environment, guided by teachers who believe every child can and will go to college. We go beyond the basics, offering after-school enrichment, strong academics, and the kind of care every parent wants for their child. Enroll today at Idea Cincinnati, where safety, support, and success come together. Call 513-669-4332 to learn more.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 7:30. I'm Larry Hansgen, and welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Monday, August 4th, 62 degrees in Dayton, and here are the big three things you need to know. Got more clouds rolling in today with a chance of a shower southwest of Dayton. Most of us rain-free, though, and a high in the low 80s. Well, a settlement reached in the death of a man shot at the Beaver Creek Walmart 11 years ago. And our top local story in Montgomery County, the coroner's office working to figure out who was found dead inside a cooler over the weekend.
Details pretty limited this morning, but let's just start with where this all happened. We're in Jackson Township in a pretty remote area, too. Lots of trees, very tall grass through here where this body was found in this cooler.
That's News Center 7's Xavier Hershevitz reporting. Here's what we know so far about this developing story.
About 7:30 last night, deputies say a body was found inside of a cooler in the area of Manning and Anthony Roads near Twin Creek.
The Jackson Township Police Department asked that the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office lead this investigation. Jackson Township Police also told News Center 7 that they do not have any missing persons reports either.
And we're told that the coroner will do an autopsy on the body to determine how this person died.
Yeah, of course, we're going to be following this investigation, and we'll bring you new details as soon as we learn them here on your hometown station for breaking news, 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
Tracking some rolling clouds today. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Ryan Mirando. The best chance of storms this week in the Storm Center 7 forecast coming up.
No accidents out on the highways so far on your Monday morning. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Parker Testa, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News.
I'm Brittany Otto.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff.
I'll pick one man now tens of thousands of dollars richer.
The Ohio Lottery says the man won a $50,000 prize from a Holiday Millions ticket bought at Pickwa Food on South Street. The top prize on the $30 scratch-off is $80,000 a year for 25 years.
WHIO's Ron Otto reporting after taxes, the man will take home $36,000.
A Montgomery County Sheriff's deputy and another person both hospitalized after a crash at Harrison Township early Saturday morning.
The preliminary investigation indicates that the deputy was driving eastbound on Needmore Road in a marked cruiser. A blue GMC pickup truck traveling west on Needmore Road turned in front of the deputy's cruiser and caused a collision. The driver of the pickup truck was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries, and the deputy was taken to a local hospital with minor injuries.
That is WHIO's David Hartwig. Needmore Road was closed for several hours.
A warrant issued after cops say a man shot his brother in Clark County Friday night.
Cops responded to Troy Road around 9:30, where they learned the suspect, identified as 38-year-old Colin Jenkins, had been in an argument with the victim when he shot him in the arm. Jenkins left the scene shortly after, and the victim received non-life-threatening injuries.
That's WHIO's Ian James. You can contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office if you know anything.
U.S. trading partners will start paying more to export their goods to America as President Trump demands better trade deals. Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer reports.
President Trump's tariffs are pretty much set on the more than 60 trading partners with the U.S. That is according to the U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. Starting Thursday, all imports will have at least a 10% tariff rate, with some countries paying up to 40%. The White House announced the tariff rates for imports just hours ahead of a self-imposed deadline last Friday.
And speaking to reporters Friday, President Trump suggesting middle and low-income Americans can receive some of the tariffs collected as a dividend.
President Trump's critics speaking out over his firing of the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner last week. Fox's Molly Line has reaction from the Trump administration.
The Trump administration is defending the president's decision to fire the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner. Erica McIntyre was fired Friday after a weaker than expected jobs report. The president says the numbers were rigged to make him look bad. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett says President Trump wants his own people at the BLS.
President Trump told reporters yesterday that he will announce a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the next 3 or 4 days. Democrats on Capitol Hill say the president only fired the commissioner because he wasn't happy about the latest employment numbers.
Now, meanwhile, the U.S. Coast Guard celebrating 235 years of protecting the nation's waterways today.
Today, it performs a host of responsibilities, including marine environmental protection, drug and migrant interdiction, military operations with the Navy, humanitarian operations, and maritime security.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin.
In golf news, Cameron Young, finally a PGA Tour winner.
There was no stopping him at the Wyndham Championship. Young took any drama out of the final round when he made 5 straight birdies, led by 9 shots. He coasted home from there and shot 68 to win by 6.
That's WHIO's Will Taylor. WHIO News Time is 7:35.
I'm Larry Hansgen, and this is Miami Valley's Morning News. And again, this summer, had a chance to visit with consumer warrior Clark Howard. We talked about a variety of topics, including the future of working remotely.
I think we're going to end up over time with some hybrid kind of thing. At big companies, it seems to be most often 3 days a week in the office, 2 days a week working remotely. But who knows, it'll be some blend like that, because that's a genie you can't fully put back in the bottle.
And you can find more online anytime, Clark.com. Research different topics there. Leave questions for Clark and his staff. And still to come, a battle over congressional redistricting in Texas. We've got that story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:36.
Nothing is more frustrating than sitting on 75 in traffic and not knowing what's going on. Your phone, not so helpful. That's why we're the home of Triple Team Traffic. Every 10 minutes. WHIO is Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
Looking for a new direction or a fast track into a high-demand trade? Southern Ohio Technical Institute, SOTI, in Cincinnati offers a 10-week, 200-hour hands-on HVAC training program led by experienced instructors. Whether you're a military veteran, a high school senior, recent high school graduate, or simply ready for a career change, SOTI can get you certified and job-ready fast. Special scholarships are available through the Charles L. Shore Foundation. Don't miss out on this opportunity to launch your future with the support you deserve. Visit SOTI-HVAC.com to learn more and apply today.
The Thompsons weren't expecting company, especially his parents, and definitely not during a heat wave.
No air conditioning? Ugh, that explains the potato salad.
Harold.
I'll open the windows. Airtron man arrives. Heroic. Shirt slightly unbuttoned. Thermostat in hand.
I cool homes, but I can't solve in-law problems.
Call Airtron and keep your cool, Cincinnati. 283-209-9327. Or call Airtron.com.
Oh, I got a story for you. Our AC went out the other day before family was coming in for a big get-together. And in this heat, brutal timing, right? What'd I do? I called Plum Tight. They had a crew at my house the next day. Done. Day later. Transparent pricing, zero pressure, and no service fees to just show up at your house. How rare is that? If your AC's acting up, don't sweat it. Make Plum Tight your first call. They do things right. PlumTight.com. Because you deserve better.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away, or maybe you don't even know? Well, you can leave now while you are still healthy and can qualify for much better individual plans. John Ruhlman at Cover Cincy has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. John offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. They're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. John even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call John at 513-800-2255. That's 513-800-2255. Online, you can find him at covercincy.com. That's covercincy.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Together with the resources of News Center 7, you're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. A pleasant day ahead of us. A very slight chance of seeing rain, so most of us are going to be dry today with temperatures in the low 80s, 62 now at 7:38.
22 minutes before 8 o'clock.
I'm Jeremy Radloff.
I'm Brittany Otto. Communication boards installed at 3 local playgrounds to make the parks more inclusive.
The Centerville Washington Park District installed 3 communication boards at 3 of their playgrounds: Activity Center Park, Forest Field Park, and Iron Horse Park. The communication boards are designed to assist individuals with communication challenges, including nonverbal children, early learners, and non-English speakers. They're colorful and symbol-based to provide a visual tool to express people's needs, feelings, and ideas.
That's WHIO's Rich Jones. The communication boards at Forest Field Park and Iron Horse Park were funded through a grant from the Mark A. Krusch Memorial Fund. And the Activity Center Park Board was donated by the Foundation for Centerville, Washington Parks.
And no baseball for the Dragons today, but that changes beginning tomorrow.
The team will host Lake County for a 6-game home series, starting with a 7:05 evening game tomorrow at Day Air Ballpark and wrapping up on Sunday afternoon.
That is WHIO's Will Taylor.
An Ohio couple welcomes a baby boy to the world after the embryo had been frozen for over 30 years.
Lindsay and Tim Pierce received the embryo after 3 of them were donated in 1994 by Linda Archard. Of the 3 donated, only 2 survived and were placed into Lindsay's womb, resulting in the birth of their son.
That's WHIO's Ian James. That embryo sets a new record for the longest storage time before a birth.
A majority of Democrats in the Texas House have fled the state there, hoping to block passage of a new congressional redistricting map. Fox's Jill Nato reports.
Most of the 62 Democrats in the Texas House have split for Illinois and New York, hoping to block a quorum so the legislative body can vote on a new congressional redistricting map. The map would give the GOP 5 more seats in the U.S. House. The Texas Tribune reports State Representative Gene Wu, chair of the House Democratic Caucus, is accusing Governor Greg Abbott of using an intentionally racist map to steal the voices of millions of Black and Latino Texans.
The Speaker of the Texas House said if there is no quorum, all options will be on the table.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
Middletown native Kyle Schwarber is deferring his selection to the Indiana University Athletics Hall of Fame. This because of a rule requiring all living inductees to attend the ceremony. Indiana ceremony September 5th, and Schwarber's Philadelphia Phillies visit Miami that day. WHIO News Time 741.
And this is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen, and we are joined in studio by Storm Center 7 meteorologist Ryan Miranda with our 5-day forecast, sponsored by Greene County Public Library. What's the new work week look like, Ryan?
It is looking like a return to summer. After this beautiful morning, it was a nice sunrise. It was nice and cool. We'll have a mix of clouds sort of passing over today. Highs still below average in the low 80s today, and a small chance of a stray shower. Tomorrow is a better chance for some scattered storms in the afternoon for your Tuesday. Starts in the mid-60s, about 5 degrees warmer than today. 83 tomorrow afternoon with some scattered pop-up storms in the afternoon. A few more pop-up storms on Wednesday, not a washout by any means. 84 degrees. We end the work week Thursday and Friday mostly dry, slightly more humid out there, and it feels like summer, where we should be for this time of the year, with highs in the mid-80s.
Well, right now, we've got 58 in Springfield, 62 in Kettering, and 62 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
A live update with Parker Testa.
Larry, still no accidents to pass along, and we've had excellent driving conditions across the Miami Valley all morning long. Just one delay that we've been telling you about, US 35 at I-675. That interchange there is down to 1 lane on US 35. Some road work going on in that area, and we're seeing a delay back to North Fairfield Road there in Beaver Creek. You can use Dayton Xenia Road as an alternate route and get around the delay. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Parker Testa, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Sex and the City spinoff And Just Like That is ending after 3 seasons. The show's creator says it was the plan all along to conclude the series. The final episode of And Just Like That set to air on August 14th on HBO Max. Still to come, Bengals fans, roll up your sleeves and you could get some free tickets. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time 743.
Here at WHIO, we've talked to a lot of folks recently, and the top concern you have is getting consumer information you need and want. You need to know the scams out there, how you can get ripped off, where to spend your money, and where to save money and make the most out of every dollar. That's why we're proud to have consumer warrior Clark Howard as part of the WHIO team. You'll hear his updates all day long. Clark Howard, only in Dayton on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
I'm Ron Otto with My Sports Rundown, my opinion on the big stories in sports. Everybody is practically giddy that NFL training camps are underway. To me, it's the most boring part of the league's calendar. Nobody's getting traded, few players are even getting cut, some teams have joint practices, but you won't see any of that until after the fact. We'll have the same questions about the same players and teams that we had months ago, with little to no answers. Days of mindless drills under the hot summer sun, leading to games that don't count, filled with players that most of us won't see play in any meaningful games this fall. OTAs are more interesting. I guess it's the mere suggestion that football is on its way that gets people excited, even relieved. You can get excited if you want, but wake me when the season starts. Wake me when the college football season starts, or better yet, the high school season begins. I'm Ron Otto, and that's my sports rundown. For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. August 5th was a big day in history. In 1914, the first electric traffic light in America is installed at West 105th Street and Euclid in Cleveland. In 1930, the first man on the moon, astronaut Neil Armstrong, is born in Wapakoneta. In 1945, the Enola Gay drops an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan.
The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold.
And in 1991, the man who literally started the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, Coach Paul Brown, dies. And August 9th, 1974, Richard Nixon becomes the first U.S. president to resign.
But as president, I must put the interests of America first. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
Degrees in Dayton. Big three things you need to know. Now some clouds today, but we're seeing some sunshine as well. Look for a high in the low 80s this afternoon. Xenia police make an arrest in a road rage incident, and our top story, mystery surrounds a body found in a cooler in Montgomery County.
Yeah, the discovery made around 7:30 last night in Jackson Township. News Center 7's Xavier Hershevitz has more.
Deputies say a body was found inside of a cooler in the area of Manning and Anthony Roads near Twin Creek. The Jackson Township Police Department asked that the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office lead this investigation.
Right now, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. Jackson Township Police say they do not have any missing persons reports, and we are told that the coroner will do an autopsy on the body to determine how this person died.
In Dark County Saturday, fire claimed the life of a man in his Jefferson Street home. Sheriff Mark Whitaker telling our news team.
Removed a adult male occupant or resident of the house. He was found deceased, as we believe, as a result of the fire.
No word yet on the man's identity or the cause of the fire. That's now in the hands of detectives and the state fire marshal's office.
Now, police have identified a suspect in a Xenia road rage shooting.
Eric James Kaysen allegedly approached the victim's vehicle after honking at the victim. Cops say eventually a round was fired that hit the victim's vehicle.
That is WHIO's David Hartwig. Kaysen is being held on one count of felonious assault and a weapons charge.
Dayton Children's Hospital setting a record in donations from its Do More So All Kids Thrive campaign.
This year's campaign raised a record $85 million, surpassing its goal by $10 million. The funds will support initiatives aimed at elevating mental health, advancing care, and removing barriers to optimal health for children in the region.
That's WHIO's Jason Michaels. 60% of the donations will go to elevating mental health services. The remainder will focus on advancing healthcare initiatives and removing barriers to health.
A local blood center says if you bleed orange and black, you could end up in the jungle.
If you donate at the Versiti Blood Center of Ohio Dayton Center or at a mobile drive during the month of August, you'll be entered to win 2 Cincinnati Bengals season passes for the 2025 season. One winner will be drawn and contacted on or around September 3rd.
And that is WHIO's Ron Otto. You can schedule a donation at versitydayton.org.
In sports news, both the Reds and the Guardians play on the road tonight.
The Reds play the Cubs at Wrigley in Chicago at 8:05 p.m. our time, and the Guardians play in New York at 7:10 tonight. Both games begin a 3-game series.
That's WHIO's Will Taylor. WHIO News Time is 7:49.
I'm Larry Hansgen, and this is Miami Valley's Morning News. And with me in studio, Storm Center 7 meteorologist Ryan Mirando to walk us through our 5-day forecast.
It has been so nice over the past 3 mornings with temperatures in the 50s and 60s, even pretty comfortable this morning as summer really returns as we head through this work week. Today, a mix of clouds and sun out there, a small chance of a stray shower this afternoon, mostly dry with a high right near 81 degrees. That's still 4 degrees below average. Tomorrow for your Tuesday, a little bit warmer than today. We start in the mid-60s, about 5 degrees warmer, 83 tomorrow afternoon with some scattered storms developing, especially if you live to the south of I-70, but not everyone will see rain tomorrow. A few more chances for isolated showers and storms for your Wednesday afternoon with a high of 84 degrees. Now by Thursday, you'll really notice the summer humidity is back and temperatures are where they should be. 85 degrees Thursday afternoon, partly cloudy to end the work week on Friday, humid with a high of 85.
Live Doppler 7 radar clear, 58 in Springfield, 63 in Beaver Creek, and 62 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
A live update with Parker Testa.
Larry, if our morning commute is any indication of how the week is going to go, we're setting up for an excellent week. We have had an excellent morning commute across the Miami Valley, seeing an increase in traffic volume on I-75, particularly in the area of Needmore Road. Lots of cars passing through there in both directions right now, but still no accidents to tell you about. On US 35 at the I-675 interchange on westbound 35, that part of the freeway down to 1 lane due to road work, and we're seeing delays back to North Fairfield Road. Dayton Xenia Road is a good alternate route to get around that delay. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Parker Testa, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
One of the stories we're covering this morning, the death of Lonnie Anderson of WKRP and Cincinnati fame.